Pokémon has generated more revenue than Mario, Harry Potter,
Expecto Patronum!
and even Mickey Mouse combined. But what's the secret behind its success? Is it the TV shows, the video games, or something else entirely? In this video, we'll peel back the layers of the Pokemon business and reveal why it's the highest grossing media franchise of all time. These little creatures are known as Pokemons, short for pocket monsters. And if you weren't part of the Pokemon Go craze back in 2016, you were actually in the minority. You've probably heard of Pikachu, the adorable yellow mouse with electric powers, or Charizard, the fire-breathing dragon. Whether you're a diehard fan or new to the world of Pokemon, there's something magical here for everyone. But what exactly is Pokemon? At its heart, Pokemon is a universe where players, called trainers, embark on epic journeys to catch, train, and battle these amazing creatures. The core concept is simple yet endlessly captivating. Capture Pokemon, nurture their growth, and use their abilities to compete against other trainers. And I can remember my first time on a Game Boy going through Pokemon Red. But how did Pokemon begin? Let's rewind the clock all the way back to the 1970s. The story of Pokemon begins with a young boy in Japan named Satoshi Tajiri, who loved collecting insects. His childhood passion for bug hunting inspired him to create something extraordinary. Alongside his friend Ken Sugimori, Tajiri founded Game Freak, which started as a small magazine dedicated to video games. Dissatisfied with the quality of the games at the time, they decided to make their own. In the late 1980s, Tajiri had a vision of a game where players could capture and trade creatures, reminiscent of his days collecting bugs. This vision was sparked by the Game Boy's ability to link two devices together. Tajiri and Sugimori, nearly bankrupt and against all odds, developed Pokemon Red and Green. Released in Japan in 1996, these games introduced players to a world where they could catch, train, and trade Pokemon with friends. The concept was revolutionary. Players were encouraged to interact, trade Pokemon, and even battle each other, creating a sense of community and connection. The success was immediate. Pokemon Red and Green became a cultural sensation in Japan, leading to an explosion of popularity that would soon spread worldwide. But Pokemon isn't just a game. It's a sprawling multimedia franchise that includes video games, trading cards, an animated series, movies, and a vast array of merchandise. The animated series featuring Ash Ketchum and his loyal Pikachu brought the adventures of Pokemon trainers to life and captured the hearts of millions. From there, Pokemon expanded into trading cards, becoming a global phenomenon with tournaments and collectors of all ages. The timeline of Pokemon's rise is as remarkable as its concept. After the initial success in Japan, the franchise quickly spread across the globe, and Pokemon Red and Blue was released in North America in 1998, followed by the animated series that aired in over 160 countries. The trading card game, launched shortly after, became a staple for collectors and players, with rare cards fetching thousands of dollars in the secondary market. By the early 2000s, Pokemon had firmly established itself as a cultural icon. New games, including Pokemon Gold and Silver, introduced fresh adventures and more creatures to capture. The trading card game continued to grow, and the animated series expanded with new episodes and movies, keeping fans engaged and the franchise ever evolving. As you might remember, in 2016, Pokemon took a leap into the digital age with Pokemon Go. The game's launch was a global sensation, sparking a renewed wave of Pokemon mania and significantly boosting the franchise's revenue. Today, Pokemon stands as the highest grossing media franchise in the world, surpassing even giants like Harry Potter
Going to sacrifice himself! No, you can't! There must be another way!
and Star Wars. With over 450 million video games sold, billions of trading cards distributed, and a series that continues to captivate new generations, Pokemon's impact is unparalleled. It's not just a game or a show, it's a cultural phenomenon that bridges generations and cultures. So why does Pokemon resonate so deeply? It's because it's more than just catching and battling creatures. It's about embarking on a journey, forming connections, and growing alongside your Pokemon. Whether you're exploring a virtual world, battling friends, or watching the latest episode, Pokemon offers a world of adventure and wonder that continues to inspire and delight fans of all ages. So how does Pokemon compare to other franchises? When you think of iconic franchises that have left a mark on the world, names like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Mario often come to mind. Each of these have made a significant impact and generated impressive revenues, but Pokemon surpasses all of them in terms of total earnings. First, let's put things into perspective. Pokemon has amassed over $147 billion in revenue, making it the highest grossing media franchise in history. This remarkable figure outshines the $30 billion earned by Harry Potter and the approximately $70 billion generated by Star Wars. Even Disney's Mickey Mouse and Friends, with its vast array of movies and merchandise, has not matched Pokemon's financial prowess. Although certain revenue streams contribute more than others, the key to Pokemon's success is their diverse and extensive revenue streams. Let's start with the video games. Since the release of Pokémon Red and Green in 1996, the franchise has sold over 450 million video game units. This alone makes Pokémon one of the best-selling video game series in history, beaten only by Tetris. The original Pokémon series ranges from Pokémon Red and Green to Generation 9, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. It started with 151 Pokémons in the first game and is currently at 1008 Pokémons. By the way, do you know which Pokémon is number 1 in the famous Pokédex? Those are just the original Pokémon games, but we also have spin-offs. Most notable of all the spin-offs is the game that got us all roaming in the streets back in 2016, Pokémon Go. I can only speak for myself, but I don't think my step count has ever been as high as it was then. Using augmented reality, it allows players to catch Pokémon in the real world using their smartphones. Pokémon Go quickly became a global phenomenon, generating over $1 billion annually since its launch and significantly boosting the franchise total revenue. In total, video games account for about $28 billion, which makes it the second largest contributor to Pokémon's total revenue. Next, let's talk about the Pokémon trading card game. Since its introduction in the late 1990s, it has sold billions of cards worldwide. These cards are more than just pieces of cardboard. They represent a dynamic and engaging game, and some even serve as valuable collectibles. The primary market for these cards is robust, with regular releases of new sets that keep players and collectors coming back for more. The Pokémon TCG's influence extends far beyond the initial sale of booster packs. The secondary market for Pokémon cards is thriving, with rare and sought-after cards fetching astonishing prices. For instance, the first edition holographic Charizard card can sell for over $300,000, and a pristine condition Pikachu Illustrator card recently sold for over $5 million, setting a new record for the most expensive Pokémon card ever sold. The secondary market is fueled by collectors and investors who recognize the long-term value of these cards. Auction sites, online marketplaces, and even live streaming platforms are buzzing with activity as people trade and sell rare Pokémon cards. This vibrant ecosystem not only keeps the Pokémon brand in the public eye, but it also continuously drives demand for new and rare cards. Trading cards rank as the third highest revenue stream for Pokémon, generating a total of $12 billion. While Pokémon is widely recognized for its video games and trading cards, they have actually made 26 movies too. Since the debut of Pokémon the first movie in 1998, Pokémon has made a considerable mark at the box office, generating substantial revenue and expanding its global influence. Since then, Pokémon has released numerous films that have collectively grossed around $1.7 billion globally. Titles like Pokémon 3 the movie and the more recent Pokémon Detective Pikachu have been major box office hits. Detective Pikachu alone earned over $430 million, making it one of the highest grossing video game adaptations to date. While Pokémon's total box office revenue might seem modest compared to franchises like Star Wars, which has grossed approximately $10 billion, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe with around $35 billion, it's important to note that Pokémon's box office earnings are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The next revenue stream comes from comics or manga. And if you don't know, manga, originating from Japan, is a style of comic book or graphic novel that is characterized by its distinct art style and diverse storytelling. Unlike traditional Western comics, manga is read from right to left, providing a unique reading experience that reflects its cultural roots. Pokemon's venture into manga began with the release of Pokemon Adventures, also known as Pokemon Special in Japan, in 1997. Created by writer Hidonori Kusaka, probably slaughtered that name, and artist Mato, this series has been praised for its faithful adaptation of the game's storylines and its darker, more mature themes compared to the animated series. It offers a deeper look into the Pokemon world, exploring the adventures and battles of various trainers beyond Ash Ketchum. To date, Pokemon Adventures has sold over 150 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling manga series of all time. The success of this manga series lies in its engaging storytelling and intricate artwork that appeals to both children and adult fans alike. The ongoing series spans multiple generations of Pokemon games, each arc aligning with the release of new game titles, thereby maintaining its relevance and connection to the core franchise. In addition to Pokemon Adventures, there are numerous other manga series that have contributed to the franchise's popularity. Titles like Pokemon The Electric Tale of Pikachu, Pokemon XY, and Pokemon Sun and Moon offers various perspectives and adventure within the Pokemon universe. These mangas have been serialized into prominent publications such as CoroCoro Comic in Japan and translated into multiple languages for a global audience. The total revenue for the Pokemon manga is estimated at around $1.5 billion. While this might seem modest compared to the franchise's other revenue streams, it represents a critical element of Pokemon's cultural footprint. Manga not only helps expand the Pokemon narrative, but it also provides a medium through which fans can explore the world of Pokemon in greater depth. It serves as a bridge connecting different media forms and keeping fans engaged with the franchise's evolving storyline and characters. So, to the last big piece of the puzzle, the largest contributor by far. Do you know what it is? Well, it's not the anime series, which I fell in love with as a kid, and actually contributes less than $1 billion in revenue, it's merchandise. Pokemon's range of merchandise is vast and diverse. Merchandise sales alone have generated an astounding $103 billion, making it the largest revenue contributor to the franchise's overall earnings. Merchandise is where Pokemon truly excels, capturing the hearts and wallets of fans across the globe. The franchise has an unparalleled ability to create products that appeal to all ages. Whether it's a plush Pikachu for a child, collectible figures for dedicated fans, or Pokemon-themed apparel for casual consumers, there's something for everyone. You can find Pokemon on everything from lunchboxes and backpacks to kitchen appliances and car accessories. This extensive variety allows the franchise to integrate itself into every aspect of daily life, ensuring that Pokemon is never far from the minds of its fans. Collaborations with major brands have also played a crucial role in Pokemon's merchandise success. Partnerships with companies like McDonald's, where Pokemon toys are included in Happy Meals, and with high-end fashion brands which create limited edition Pokemon-themed products, have expanded Pokemon's reach and appeal. These collaborations not only drive merchandise sales, but also enhance the brand's prestige and cultural significance. Compared to other major franchises, Pokemon's dominance in the merchandise sector is unparalleled. For instance, Disney's Mickey Mouse and Friends have generated about $73 billion in merchandise sales, and the Star Wars merchandise have brought in around $42 billion. However, Pokemon's $103 billion in merchandise revenue far exceeds these figures, showcasing its unmatched ability to engage consumers and generate sales through its products. Pokemon's triumph across video games, trading cards, TV shows, movies, mangas, and merchandise highlights its unrivaled versatility. Each revenue stream, from the iconic games to the vast array of merchandise, synergizes to create a powerhouse franchise that leads the global market with $147 billion in total revenue. Unlike other franchises that excel in specific areas, Pokemon's strength lies in its broad and integrated approach. This diversity not only drives continuous growth, but it also ensures a lasting legacy that resonates worldwide. If you think Pokemon's business blueprint is fascinating, you should take a look at Red Bull. How does an energy drink manufacturer become a global extreme sports brand?